Peter, we wanted to get more granular on the remaining 3 years, let's say, of those plans. What can you say? Why is it needed?
It's definitely needed. I think that from the last 5-year plan, I should say, some big steps and big decisions were taken, but we are seeing that we're not on pace to realize that plan and to realize our ambitions. So doing a more in-depth drill down was necessary.
Yeah. I believe almost everyone in the call was asked also to contribute in one way or another for the revised plans and to create a 3-year growth plan. You wanted to get more granular on that plan for the remaining 3 years?
Yeah, of course. I think that between the 5-year plan and now, some good steps were taken, some good decisions were made, but we are seeing that we're not yet on par. So we wanted to do a deeper dive.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's some hard conclusions to make, but it's the right conclusions. So we need to do some introspection and to get ourselves back on track where we want it to be. So
yeah, let's make it very concrete. Peter, does it mean that we did not make progress yet?
No, I think that some progress was made, and in the spirit of transparency, as we've always preached, we will have Peter here on the call next, explaining, what are the figures, what are the realizations up to date, and where are we today, and not to steal his thunder, but basically, bottom line, what is happening is we see that commercially we have some growth. But the growth pace, the speed of growth, is not yet up to what we had budgeted or hoped for. And when we're looking at operations, the operational efficiency has certainly improved versus last year, that's for sure. But we are seeing that we are not yet living up to the standards, whether it is on efficiency from the operational standpoint or from a quality and food safety kind of environment. So we need to do better. That being said, obviously there are some external factors that we need to take into account. We've all seen the macroeconomic happenings around us, whether it is wars, whether it is bumper crops when it comes to vegetables, leading to more availability and lower margins, whether it is about higher electricity, higher transport costs. I mean, we are not an island on our own. We need to work within that macroeconomic environment moving forward.
Yeah. Let's not believe we are immune for all these external factors, nope. Indeed. So I hear indeed that you say lower pace, that there is a bit of a delay. Virginie, what does it mean in terms of impact on our business?
Well, it has some significant impact because if the volume growth doesn't materialize, we're not covering our fixed costs. And on top of that, we need that growth and those results to invest in our factories. So filling our factories is really critical. It's not only a nice to have, but it's a must have. Like you mentioned, there are some external factors, and we're not immune for the external factors. We're fully aware of that. But if you look, it is also valid for the competition. So we need to look at where do we have impact, where can we have impact, and that is all what leadership is all about. It's coming up with what can we do for the growth. And then thirdly, I think if you look, we're talking a lot about investments and mainly about CapEx investments, where a good return on investment is critical. But at the same time, there are other types of investments, and we need to have maybe a different look on investments. You can also invest in better processes and in better embedding those processes. And there is where the true return on investment will come from. And this is where leadership really matters.
Yeah, so it's all about leadership and looking looking differently to the things we already know. That brings us, of course, to a new set of questions. Let's say on what does it mean for our organization? Peter, what does it mean? What do we need to change?
It's interesting that you use the word change, and I think that let's not forget. I mean, we have the beautiful "Do Food Good" purpose, which we have, which in itself we already promised for ourselves and for our stakeholders some change into becoming a more future-proof kind of company. I think that what we always said is, in order to do food good, we need to do some things better, and I think that this is not just a slogan, it's not just a storyline. It is really that we strongly believe that some things need to change, some things need to become better in order to realize our purpose, which is basically to make healthy food more easy, tasty, and affordable for all.
Yeah. Making it more concrete, as you said, let's start right away, I would say. And there are indeed a few buckets that have been identified as critical to work on. Perhaps let's dive into the first one together, Virginie, and that's penalties, destructions, and recalls. What's at stake for those topics?
Well, penalties, destructions, and recalls eat actually a big chunk out of our results. And as you know, we can only invest money once, so this is money that is gone. If you ask me, we often hear who's responsible for this part. It's a joint responsibility. It's a responsibility of commercial, of operations, and of quality. And let's be honest, for next year, and as from today, we need to put first-time rights and food safety culture high on the agenda, and that's what Gert later on will further elaborate on.
Okay. Wow, that's already a scoop you're giving here. Great. Peter, a second topic is the high SG&A structure. Can you comment on that? What's so critical about it?
Sure. I mean, maybe just to introduce the topic, SG&A stands for Sales, General and Administrative Costs. And it can be seen as anything that is needed to run a business besides the direct costs, which is linked to things like production. So I think that it's key to keep an eye on that. What we are seeing in today's markets, and I'm not going to name the examples, but we are seeing that a lot of our competition, a lot of the outside world is starting to look at restructuring and reorganizations. We are not at that point in crops. It's not our ambition to do so. At the same time, what we are seeing is that we need to keep an eye on our costs. We need to keep an eye on being and staying lean. And what that does mean is that basically we have already, I should say, invested into our growth, which was foreseen but did not materialize. And I think that we have made the costs to realize that growth. At the same time, now we need to be conscious of these costs and we need to make sure that they yield the right results, whether it is commercial or whether it is cost saving.
Does it mean we also will need to take corrective actions?
Well, some corrective measures will of course be necessary. I think that corrective measures can go into looking at new ways to use the same equipment, looking at broadening the roles of certain people, looking at a certain rationalization of the way certain teams work. So yes, we will need to make some changes, but like we said, change is in this case a good thing.
Yeah. And in order to guide us through the change, leadership is important. That brings us to the third bucket, leadership and performance management, Virginie. Why is that so critical?
It is critical because we have a growth plan. And we have a growth path, and that every year we translate into budgets. What is important, or what's ideal, is that the budget is on the one hand side realistic, but at the same time challenging enough. What we see and what we've noticed the past 2 years is that often there's a big gap between the budget and the realization of the budget. So what we want to do differently is to put more emphasis on the execution, what we mentioned already also